Visualize. A young waitress serving burgers in a tiny diner, struggling to make ends meet, constantly told she wasn't smart enough, not good enough, not destined for anything big. Now picture that same woman years later, commanding boardrooms, closing million-dollar real estate deals, and becoming one of the sharpest investors on the hit show Shark Tank. That woman is Barbara Corcoran. She didn't inherit wealth. She didn't have Ivy League degrees. What she had was grit, resilience, and an unshakable belief that she could build her own path. With nothing but a $1,000 loan, Barbara Corcoran turned her small real estate company into a $66 million empire. Her story is not just about real estate. It's about defying the odds, breaking barriers, and rewriting destiny. So if you've ever been told that you're not smart enough, if you've ever felt stuck with no clear way out, if you've ever looked at your dream and thought, it's impossible, then Barbara's journey will change the way you see yourself. Stay with me until the end of this story, because the lessons hidden in Barbara Corcoran's life could be the very blueprint you need to transform your own. And before we dive in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Every week we bring you real-life motivational stories of ordinary people who built extraordinary lives. Now let's rewind the clock and step into the early life of Barbara Corcoran, where the seeds of resilience were planted long before her first deal was ever signed. Barbara Corcoran was born on March 10, 1949, in Edgewater, New Jersey. She was the second of 10 children in a working-class Irish Catholic family. Life was not easy. Her father worked multiple jobs but struggled with alcohol, and her mother was the glue that held the family together. In school, Barbara faced constant struggles. She was dyslexic, but at the time, dyslexia wasn't well understood. Teachers labeled her as slow and dumb. She barely scraped by academically, often sitting at the back of the class, humiliated by her poor grades. But Barbara had something that no test could measure: street smarts, creativity, and the ability to connect with people. To help her family, she worked odd jobs from a young age: babysitting, waitressing, and selling hot dogs. She didn't complain, she hustled. By her early 20s, Barbara was working as a waitress at a diner. The customers saw just another young woman serving food, but Barbara was quietly nurturing a dream: to one day escape the cycle of poverty and build something of her own. Her big break came when she met Ramon Simone, a man who became her boyfriend at the time. He lent her $1,000, a small amount that would change her entire destiny. With that money, Barbara co-founded a small real estate business in New York City. They called it the Corcoran Simone Company. She knew nothing about real estate. But what she lacked in knowledge, she made up for in energy, determination, and boldness. Barbara started by renting tiny apartments, often cold-calling clients, and working tirelessly. She created her own marketing strategies, writing newsletters that gave people insights into the real estate market, something no one else was doing at the time. Slowly but surely, her hustle paid off. But life was about to test her in the harshest way possible. Barbara's business began to grow. But just as she was finding her footing, her partner and boyfriend, Ramon, blindsided her. He left Barbara for her secretary, and if that wasn't enough, he told her she would never succeed without him. Most people would have crumbled. But not Barbara. She took his words as a challenge, splitting from him and forming her own company. The Corcoran Group, with nothing but grit and that original $1,000 loan, Barbara set out to build her empire. She developed a unique flair for marketing. While other agents relied on plain listings, Barbara created the Corcoran Report, a detailed newsletter analyzing New York's real estate trends. It was bold, innovative, and positioned her as an authority in the market. Her ability to tell stories, connect emotionally with clients, and bring energy into every deal made her stand out. Slowly, the Corcoran Group grew, first with a handful of agents, then with dozens, then hundreds. Barbara was not just selling apartments. She was selling dreams. and people trusted her because she understood them. By the late 1990s, Barbara had built the Corcoran Group into one of the most respected real estate firms in New York. In 2001, she sold it for $66 million. Think about that. From a $1,000 loan to $66 million. The waitress who once struggled to read had now become one of the most powerful women in real estate. But Barbara's journey was never smooth sailing. Along the way, she faced sexism in a male-dominated industry. She was underestimated constantly, dismissed as the girl in the real estate game. Instead of backing down, Barbara leaned into her bold personality. She wore bright colors, spoke her mind, and built a reputation as someone who couldn't be ignored. Even after selling the Corcoran Group, Barbara's hunger for growth didn't stop. When she got the call to join a brand new TV show called Shark Tank, she almost lost the opportunity. Initially, producers replaced her with another investor, but Barbara refused to take no for an answer. She wrote a bold letter to the producers saying, "You've made a mistake. I thrive on rejection. Please invite both of us to Los Angeles and let the best woman win." Her confidence worked. She was cast as one of the original Sharks. On Shark Tank, Barbara became known for her wit, her tough love, and her ability to spot potential in entrepreneurs whom others doubted. She invested in dozens of companies, many of which grew into huge successes. Through the show, Barbara became not just a real estate mogul, but also a household name and an inspiration for millions, especially women who felt underestimated. She proved that your beginnings don't define your ending. So what can we learn from Barbara Corcoran's journey? Use rejection as fuel. When Ramon told her she'd never succeed, Barbara built an empire, turned small opportunities into big wins. A $1,000 loan turned into $66 million. Be bold. In real estate, in business, and on Shark Tank, Barbara proved that standing out is better than fitting in. Play to your strengths. Dyslexia made school hard, but it also taught her to think differently and creatively. Never accept no as the final answer. Barbara's letter to Shark Tank producers changed her destiny. Her story proves one thing: you don't need perfect grades, a rich background, or approval from others to win in life. All you need is courage, persistence, and the refusal to quit. Barbara Corcoran's life screams one message: start where you are, use what you have, and never let rejection define you. So the next time life tells you you can't, remember Barbara, the waitress who turned $1,000 into a multi-million-dollar empire. If this story inspired you, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs motivation today. And tell us in the comments, what's the one dream you're chasing, no matter how small it starts? Because sometimes all it takes is one small step and one bold decision to change your entire life.